Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle, and what you're looking at here, well, it's a boat anchor. And what's this episode about? Some of the unusual stuff that's sitting in my shop that, well, I'm just kind of wondering what it's doing in my shop. I sort of remember how I accumulated it, and I know that it's in transition. It's going to wind up someplace, sometime, but right now it's in my shop, if you will. And, I'd like to take you through some of the more unusual items that I have, but have no use for. And, it happens from time to time for those of us that are out there acquiring fishing tackle, acquiring rods and reels for repair, maybe for personal use and the like, that sometimes you'll come into a lot of items. And included in those items are things that you just say, what in the world am I ever going to do with that? This is one of them. The story behind this one is that, there was a community yard sale event that happened about 2 or 3 years ago now. And I was just going from house to house, kind of seeing what was being offered and if there was anything that I might find a use for. And the folks had, the one house had 4 of these anchors. Now, 3 of them were kind of a horseshoe anchor. I think they probably weighed 15 pounds maybe. And I thought, I'm always doing these fishing flea markets and the like. There's a home for those. Let me acquire those, and this one as well, and see what I could do with them. See if there was a market for them, if I couldn't give them a second chance. Well, the 3 horseshoe anchors wound up going pretty quickly. One of them was actually from a scuba diver who wanted to anchor their buoy to let folks know that they were under the surface. 2 more had lightweight boats, and they were always looking for the anchors. They were using gallon milk jugs filled with sand to anchor in some of the small streams and inlets that feed into the bays. And then I had this one, and I guess anchors and boats are kind of like fishing reels and handles. You might get rid of the boat, but for some reason you keep the anchor. And that seems to be what this individual did. I was told by one of the folks that those flat surfaces on the anchor make for great craft projects to fill out your shop, your kind of man cave, if you will, and that you can paint nautical scenes on those flat spots, hang them on a wall, hang them outside, and kind of enjoy it that way. Well, I have neither a boat nor a man cave, nor a place that makes any sense, but I have an anchor. And where that goes, I'm not sure, but I do know that at some point in time it will be out of my shop and into the hands of somebody who can give that anchor a second chance. Well, if you're enjoying this kind of a video, let me know, because, you never know what you're going to find when you tune on my channel. Most of the time, we're going to be working on fishing reels, showing you how to service and repair and keep those running and giving ones that are broken a second chance. But every now and then, there's a quirky thing that comes up, and then we'll call this one today Quirky, because, they're products that for the most part I don't use. I do know how I got them. I think I know what I was going to do with them. But, here you are, right? Subject of a video. So let's take a look at the next one then. This next one is kind of interesting. It is an Eagle Claw Elite Series ice fishing setup. It is a fishing reel with your spanner and your flag for your trip to let you know that something is on there. I'm not quite sure if that's in frame. There's your trip and your flag. I purchased this one at a flea market a couple of years ago. It's brand new, and I thought it would make a nice, interesting fishing reel of the day video. Haven't done that yet. I think we'll do that one before we let this one pass. But the fun part about this is I've never been ice fishing in my life. I don't intend to go ice fishing. I've seen a lot of folks that enjoy that. Thought I would pass it along to somebody, wasn't able to find anybody to pass it along to. Very elementary in terms of the reel. It's a simple device that can span the hole you drill, and when something's on the line, you will trip that flag. So kind of an interesting piece all around, but what it is, why I have it, other than it was a quirk at the moment and rather relatively inexpensive, and the purpose of purchasing it, well, just to provide an education to somebody else about a fishing reel of the day. But in terms of me using that, well, that'll never happen, and we're going to find a place for it yet. There is some ponds up in northern New Jersey that do actually ice over, and this could be used for. But for the most part, we haven't seen a steady ice on those lakes and ponds in quite some time. So this may just sit around in the shop for a while, but I will try and find a home for that at some point. Well, the next two are fairly similar, but unused nonetheless. This one is for sand crabs or sand fleas. We've all seen these. We've all been on the surf, and you watch the crabs kind of run in and out with the tide, and those crabs make great bait if you're surf fishing, if you can get them. Well, how do you get them? This is a scoop basket, and I think I purchased this one at a flea market, actually. I was getting ready for some winter fishing, and around here we go for tog or blackfish, and they love the crabs. So if you can find them, they're dead giveaways. When you're walking the surf, you see their bubbles come up and their little holes. I guess down in the Carolinas you would see ghost crabs. That's kind of an idea of what these are as well. But simply see the bubbles, scoop in with the rake, gather them in the basket, and you are off to fishing, bait in hand. The other one I don't think I will ever use. And this one came at the end of a flea market. This actually is something a little bit more aggressive. You can see by the tines on the basket here, if I can get this in frame. The tines on the basket here very much are a rake. And this is actually designed for clamming. And well, I've never been clamming. It looks like quite an arduous task. The entire device has got a big rake handle on it. It's got to be 5 feet in length. You have a wider basket. Of course, you're not going for those small crabs. You're going for clams. And the whole notion here is you will bring this into the water line, you will rake and then gather the clams here. Some folks, most of the folks, do it by boat, and you're in the shallows at low tide. And well, at the end of one of these fishing flea markets, somebody walked up to me and said they had only purchased a table for a day. They were trying to get rid of some miscellaneous fishing equipment that they no longer use. And well, if I want, make an offer and buy what's remaining. I did, and of course, well, here you go. I am now the proud owner of a clam rake that will never be used by me. Hopeful to find somebody that will use it and let them go out there, get a good workout in from boat or maybe in hip waders, raking in from the bottom of the sea, hoping to grab those clams. Those clams around here probably should be used for bait only. There is still some heavy metals in the land and in the silt in the lake. So I think most of the time you'd be looking at this from a bait standpoint. But I guess if you find cleaner waters, you probably could go ahead and get yourself dinner. Well, we will see. Okay, one more to go. I hope you're enjoying it. If you do enjoy these videos, please like them. If you have any questions on these or any questions regarding fishing reels, leave them in the comment section. I will try to answer those for you. Well, my last one, that just came along with a group of fishing reels and tackle that I purchased. Yep, once again, I have an anchor without a boat. Now I have an engine without a boat. This one's going to prompt me to do a video. This is kind of a fascinating piece of history, just like the old reels are that we find. There are collectors and there are folks that do enjoy the mechanics of the past. And in this case, this is a Johnson Seahorse 3. This fishing boat engine was made in 1953. Wow, 72 years old. I understand from the fellow that I purchased the whole fishing lot and tackle and everything from, that this was running before it went into storage. I gave it a quick tug on the starter, and it doesn't appear to be up and running yet, but it could be. It's a 3 horsepower unit. 1953 is when it was manufactured. There's a long and storied history of fishing boat engines, outboard engines, starting in, I guess, around 1909, 1910 with Ole Evinrude, kind of creating the first mass market ones. Johnson was around since the 1920s. We'll tell that story, and we'll kind of use this engine as the way to catapult into that story in a future video. But right now, I am the owner of a Johnson Seahorse 3 without a boat, with an anchor. Just wondering what the next steps are for this. Well, I hope you've enjoyed these. I kind of enjoy understanding them. I kind of enjoy learning about them. But as for using them, well, that's let's just call that future plans. Maybe I will, probably won't. And hopefully I'll find a home for all of these somewhere down the line where I can give up my custodianship and pass that along to somebody who can enjoy it, either using it or as part of their collection. For now, let's just call these quirks, some things that are in the shop that, well, I know how I got them here. I'm not sure how I'm getting them out of here, but that's all part of the fun of doing this. Before I leave, I want to thank our first responders, our police, fire, safety, rescue, and everybody involved in keeping us out of harm's way. I want to thank you for watching. I appreciate your comments. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the section. And again, if you like this, please indicate that by pushing that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It helps my channel to grow. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle, wishing everybody fun finds at the flea market. A lot of enjoyment in the tackle that you have and are going to acquire, and great days on the water. Have a nice day.